God bless you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and my audience. It's really an honor and a real privilege for me to be here this evening with you. This very important occasion of discussing with the group 7,000 men and women that are living a life of righteousness and seeking to be able to do something for the kingdom of God. My invitation is very simple, and I'll try to be snappy because I have a limited time. The title of this theme is Doing Business with Integrity. When my son-in-law, Dr. McFord, wanted me to be here this evening, he shared a story with me about Dr. Esther, how passionate she's been with this subject, and maybe we are going to also hear her testimony this evening, so I don't want to take time to dive into it. But just to let you know that a lot of thought goes through the mind of the young people, whether it is really possible to do business with integrity in the hour and time that we are living in. It's not strange. We've seen things like this even in the Bible days. During the time of Elijah, it appeared that everybody has compromised and lived like the rest of the world. But, God has never left himself without a witness in every generation and every dispensation. There are very few minor group that stood out, that's really without a witness in every generation and every dispensation. There are very few minor group that always stand out for what is right, regardless of the challenges that goes with it. It got to a point that actually Elijah indeed thought it was himself alone. And he made a claim like some of us do, and we do, like, it's only me. There's no other person. It was at that point that God gave him a revelation, and he saw there are 7,000 other men and women that never bowed to the bar. It's almost like, forget it. Why do we just want to get into this theory? How do you do business, in Nigeria of today, in the hour of today, with integrity? This is like a cock and bull story, Some people will call it bullshit and different kind of things. But I stand here to testify to you that it's still possible and it can be done. God never left himself without a witness. There's always very few group that can stand out and be able to give account of what they are doing and what they have done. By the grace of God, when we talk about integrity, let me be very honest, I won't say it's so much about the things I learned in the church, even though church supposed to own it, and it's supposed to be really what anybody who claimed to be a Christian stood out for. Let us first of all define the word integrity. What do we mean when we talk about integrity? Because many of us only look at it with relates to finance and other things. Integrity should be your first nature, the way you live. And you can make a note on this. Many people think they can't get anywhere with integrity, but let me tell you, a shortcut is the longest way, the farthest way to success in life. Anytime you think you can cut things short and get there closer, you are making it extremely difficult for you to ultimately get to where you want to be in life. The successful people play by one rule. We are confused because we've seen a bunch of criminals in our own environment that rose up to power and authority. But these are very momentary. They are short-lived. It's not something that has been tested. You can't really create wealth that is successful because it's going to catch up with you somewhere along the road if you don't get it right. Like I said, Christianity should have been in the front run of this, that should be the really champion of it, because God, the word God is actually represent integrity. It's a character. In the afternoon, one is one. in Japan, in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, A is A, B is B. It never change. It's not changed by weather, by time. It's very consistent. So integrity is something you will do when you find out it can never be discovered and you still do the same thing. It's not about somebody, making a clip or video on you and you are programming you and you are trying to fit into that person's program and making sure you do things that, nobody will hear it. Every other person will be good when you know people are going to see what you've done. But if we talk about integrity, it's something you are certain nobody will discover it. But still, you never change your mind. You do what is right in a consistent manner. Not your best, because many times our best is not good enough. Our call as Christians are a higher calling. We must do what is required, not our best, because an average human being feel inadequate, have reasons to feel I can't go further than this. This is my best. Forgetting that Henry Ford already told us that no single person is incapable of doing more than what he or she has to do. But many times we wait to get a desperate situation to get the best out of us, when love should have appropriated us to do that. At the age of 14, I became a Christian and met the person of Jesus Christ in his saving grace and embraced him. I went to speak somewhere last Sunday, and a bishop trying to introduce me, was saying he pity the young generation today because, unfortunate for them, their attention is being distracted with Facebook, and in our own time, there's no Facebook. When I got the microphone, I told him I differ a little bit with him. I told him we had a Facebook in our own generation, but we faced the real book, the Bible, the Word of God. The young people are facing fake book because there's no book they are facing. The book we face in Joshua chapter 1 verse 7 said, if that book will not depart from our mouth, but we should meditate in it day and night, then shall we make our way prosperous, knowing that our destiny is not kept in anybody's hand. It's no individual that will determine who you will be and where you are going to be. It's all in your hand if you can face the real book. But you can decide to fake book, and you keep on wandering on it from morning till night and end up blaming everybody around you for what is going wrong in your life because you've decided to follow fake book. But if you face this real book, I started facing this real book before I turned 15. And this revolutionized my life, gave me a sense of belonging, gave me a sense of direction that I live above my age in every ramification. I was like a superhuman being because my mind got open and I was at the peak of my youth where everybody in that age is bubbling with life. If you get it right, statistics proved that successful people in life, 86% of them be able to make it between the age of 14 and 28. By 30, you're already in a borderline. Do they make it at 40, 50, 60, even 80? Yeah, they do. But like in the pyramid, it gets very narrow, very rare. The foundation of it is within this age bracket because that's when you will somersault. If you try to somersault, if you never did by 28, you may be dangerous yourself to spinal cord injury. But by 14, 15, 16, 18, you have all the energy to swing yourself back around. In this process, I met the Japanese. This is way before the fundamentalists started taking their life. The Japanese has always committed suicide. These are not religious people. They don't read Bible. They had no Quran. An average Japanese actually is an atheist because you can say they are that they are more in majority, what you can call Buddhists. But the young generations among them make a joke out of it that they are one-time Christian. That's the day they wait. They wear white gown and a suit. And then they are Buddhist the day they die because they will incarnate them. But otherwise, they've never been to the temple, neither have they been in the church. But a man that has gone to a dinner with me, sat on a table, his name is Mr. Mashichita, that has visited me in Nigeria, committed what they call harakashi, which is the normal way of them living. If a Japanese made a promise to you and he couldn't do it, he would take his life and apologize to his family and apologize to the business partner and say, so sorry, I disappointed you. I learned this very early in my life. I learned a lot of cultures from them. I am a young man that have an open mind, and I knew the way life operates. It's not about people, having much argument to make, but life operates by principle. Principles are inherent law that you find in the Word of God. Psalm 119 verse 100, David said, "O Lord, I know your law, and I become wiser than my teachers, than the ancients of the days. The precept of your word is what I kept before me, and this make me wiser than my enemies." If you understood these laws and obeyed them, and one of them is that your word is your bond. I learned this from the Japanese. I learned disciplines from them. I understand what responsibility is all about. Of course, the death of my father at the age of 4 helped to introduce me to early responsibility in life, because by 50 years of my life, I started making decisions for my life, and it was clear. Now, for a Japanese, they will be happier to hear that if you make a financial commitment, even though the roof of your house caved in the following day, it's not a good explanation why you should not keep commitment. People said, am I teaching people to commit suicide? Well, make up your mind. But if you understand what responsibility is, and if you understand what integrity is, there's no explanation good for you not to keep your word. In other words, always work hard to underpromise, but if you can, over-deliver. One of the things you need to do, you have one chance to create an impeccable impression to anybody you meet. You may not have a second chance. And that one chance is, he wants to watch you to see how you keep your word. The Japanese will be happy to know that the roof of your house caved in 2 days ago, but you promised to make a financial commitment today and you made it. I introduced a Nigerian to the Japanese, and he got to meet them earlier. And when he wasn't able to make a payment at the month of the end, he said to Japan, I can't kill myself. I can't kill myself. I did my best. The man said, please, kill yourself. The boy said, what are you in Nigeria? I said, kill yourself because you promised. For a Japanese, the correct thing is that for him to hear tomorrow that you take your life because you didn't make the commitment, not that you come to explain. Nothing is good for explanation. I met these people under 20. I had no capital. I had nowhere to go. I understudied them and knew the way their mind works. The Americans are like gasoline. They start but easily burn out. But Japanese are like diesel engine. If you get to know them and follow their system, they will carry you at any mountain, any hill, no matter how difficult the situation is. They believe that you are a business partner, you are in the same boat. I met them. If who gave you appointment for 11 o'clock, by 10:40, he's in a coffee shop downstairs of your building. He's not going to be there 1 minute after 11, and he will not be there 1 minute before. He will be climbing the step. Once it is 11, he knock in your door, just like a timer. This is Germans, this is Japanese. The Americans, you go to their shop, you see $99.99. $119.99. There's no point in Japanese. The number is clear. No point something. So if you know that, so when a Nigeria will make a promise, I'm seeing you by 10 o'clock, and you arrived here by 10:15, you have passed the text. The man already knew the person is going to be dealing with in future. Many people don't. It's like a culture that we are so engrossed into. It's normal to us that, you can blame everything on traffic. I've had the opportunity to meet some people, and maybe I'm having just ordinary business meeting with them, not knowing exactly where we're going. And I see him pick up a phone. He's sitting with me and tell the other man, yes, sorry, I'm stuck in a traffic. Give me another 15 minutes, I'll be with you. Oh, I got my idea, the kind of person I'm meeting with. You have one life to live. If you lie to your wife, lie to your children, you will lie to a business partner. You don't have another life. You will not know. Unconsciously, you will do it. So the area we begin to condition our mind to live right in a consistent manner, this is what responsibility is all about. When you learn it and do it, there's no limit to where you can be in life. I discovered these secrets as a young man, and I applied them in my life. I was able to access unprecedented credit, what we call supplier's credit. From the supplier's credit, the banker sees me with money, and they don't know where the money is coming from. They didn't know other person had trusted me, because integrity is one of the most scarce commodity in the country where we live. Anybody who is a Christian that is a smart businessman, you should look for things that is not easily available, because that's where you can make your money. So I discovered that integrity is a scarce commodity in this country. I started exploiting it from that time till today. And it's not surprising that Coscharis today borrowed money from all the banks in Nigeria on a negative pledge. What does a negative pledge mean? Means I do not pledge anything to you. Whereas you go to bank to ask for money, they are asking you to bring your grandmother for collateral, bring your uncle, bring your children. Nobody asks me for anything. It's not because I have too much money, but because people know that my word is my bond. I didn't pick it on the street. It's costly. People like freedom, but many do not know that there is a responsibility for freedom. Freedom has a weight, very heavy weight. Jesus said, take off my yoke. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. There is a yoke that goes with Christian living. It's not about irresponsibility, unaccountable to anybody. We have a bunch of young people today. You don't know who they are going to be. They can walk out from church. They are not ready to explain anything to anybody. So unpredictable that you don't know what next they are going to do. And the unfortunate thing is that somebody has deceived them and told them this is what Christianity is all about. That is loose life. They sing in a choir, speak in tongue, and sleep around on a weekend and claim to be a believer. Something has gone wrong. We need to begin to change the narratives. If God be God and you want to worship him, worship him. So learn to live a life of integrity where if you perish, you perish. You don't have two lives to live. But if you want to live a life, live an intentional life, a life that is purposeful, that you have a goal that you want to accomplish. God bless you. I do not want to take much of your time because I'm getting a signal that my time is up and so many other things. If we have time for questions, I can take questions and answer later on. Otherwise, I will wrap it up and then you can move ahead with the other person. God bless you. Thank you very much.